Welcome to the countdown, folks. We're about to dive deep into the top 10 MMA fights of all time. We're talking the fights that made your heart race, your jaw drop, and left you questioning if those dudes were even human. These are the bouts that left fans on the edge of their seats and made history in the world of mixed martial arts, the fights that transcended the sport and became legendary stories of grit, skill, and pure F***ing determination. We're talking knockouts, submissions, and battles that went the distance, leaving every ounce of sweat and blood on the canvas. So, buckle up, because we're about to relive the most insane moments in MMA history. This fight was something else. Back in 2005, the UFC wasn't what it is today. It was raw, it was gritty, and it was fighting for every inch of recognition. Enter Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonnar, two warriors who threw down in the finale of The Ultimate Fighter Season 1. They went toe-to-toe for 3 straight rounds, just an absolute slugfest. Neither guy would back down. It was like watching two gladiators in the Colosseum, just pure heart and determination. The fight ended in a decision for Griffin, but honestly, both guys won that night. They won the hearts of fans and put the UFC on the map. Talk about a rivalry, man. Conor McGregor, the brash Irishman with the knockout power, versus Nate Diaz, the Stockton slugger with the granite chin. Their first fight was insane, with Diaz shocking the world by submitting McGregor, but the rematch, oh man, the rematch was legendary. It was a back-and-forth war, McGregor finding his range and dropping Diaz multiple times, and Diaz, like the warrior he is, just kept coming forward, eating those shots. The fight went the distance, a brutal, technical battle, with McGregor taking the decision in a razor-thin fight. This one had it all: trash talk, knockdowns, blood, and pure animosity. This, my friends, was a fight for the ages. Jon Jones, the pound-for-pound king, facing his toughest challenge yet in Alexander Gustafsson. Gustafsson, the taller fighter, used his reach early, keeping Jones at bay and landing some bombs. But Jones, being the goddamn prodigy he is, adjusted. He dug deep, weathered the storm, and came back with a vengeance. This fight had everything: brutal elbows, takedowns, and a pace that would make a marathon runner tap out. In the end, Jones got the decision, but it was a war that cemented both guys as legends. Chapter 4-7, Robbie Lawler vs. Rory MacDonald II, a bloodbath for the ages. This fight, man, it was a bloodbath, a display of heart and toughness that's almost hard to watch. Robbie Lawler, the ruthless one, defending his welterweight title against Rory MacDonald in a rematch for the ages. Their first fight was a war, but this one went to another level. Broken noses, swollen eyes, these guys were like two zombies just teeing off on each other. It was brutal, it was beautiful, and it ended with Lawler knocking out MacDonald in the 5th round of one of the greatest fights ever. Chapter 5-6, Anderson Silva vs. Chael Sonnen, Vaughn, the Spider's comeback for the ages. This was more than just a fight. It was a clash of styles and personalities. Chael Sonnen, the loudmouthed wrestler, talking trash and backing it up, taking it to the legendary Anderson Silva. Sonnen dominated the first 4 rounds with his wrestling, putting Silva on his back and controlling the fight. But then, in the 5th round, just when it looked like Silva was done, he pulled off one of the most incredible comebacks in MMA history. A triangle choke seemingly out of nowhere, submitting Sonnen and defending his title. This fight proved why Silva is considered one of the greatest of all time. Chapter 6-5, Chuck Liddell vs. Wanderlei Silva, the Iceman vs. the Axe Murderer. This was the fight that MMA fans had been dreaming of for years. Chuck Liddell, the Iceman with his devastating knockout power, versus Wanderlei Silva, the Axe Murderer, known for his aggressive, wild fighting style. This fight lived up to the hype, man. It was a back-and-forth brawl, both guys landing bombs. Liddell's sprawl and brawl style against Silva's Muay Thai. In the end, Liddell's power proved too much, knocking out Silva in the first round of a fight that had the whole arena on their feet. Chapter 7. Frankie Edgar, man, this guy is the definition of heart. In this fight, he went up against Gray Maynard, a beast of a lightweight who had nearly finished Edgar in their first fight. Maynard came out swinging, dropping Edgar multiple times in the first round. It was insane. Most guys would have been out, done, but not Edgar. He weathered the storm, came back swinging, and took the fight to Maynard. It was a back-and-forth war, a testament to the heart and will of both fighters. But Edgar, man, he dug deep and pulled off a stunning knockout in the 4th round. Chapter 8. Number 3. Dan Henderson versus Mauricio Shogun Rua. Legends collide. Two absolute legends of the sport, Dan Henderson and Mauricio Shogun Rua, throwing down in a fight for the ages. Both guys known for their knockout power, their chins, and their relentless fighting styles. This fight was non-stop action, a slugfest from the opening bell. Henderson's H-bomb nearly putting Shogun away, but Shogun, man, he wouldn't go down. He weathered the storm and came back to rock Henderson. In the end, Henderson got the decision in a fight that is still talked about today. Chapter 9. Number 2. Georges St-Pierre versus Matt Hughes II, GSP's Road to Greatness. This fight, man, this was more than just a fight, it was Georges St-Pierre's coming out party. He had fought Matt Hughes before, losing by submission in a fight that fueled GSP's fire. He came into the rematch a different animal, more focused, more determined. He dominated Hughes, showing the world the skills and the heart that would make him one of the greatest of all time. GSP finished Hughes in the second round with a head kick and punches, solidifying his place at the top of the welterweight division and starting his reign as champion. Chapter 10. Number 1. Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Conor McGregor. The Eagle takes flight. This fight had everything. Trash talk, bad blood, and one of the most dominant performances in UFC history. Khabib Nurmagomedov, the undefeated Dagestani Sambo master versus Conor McGregor, the biggest star in the sport. The build-up was insane, with McGregor pulling out all the stops to get under Khabib's skin. But once the cage door closed, it was all Khabib. He took McGregor down at will, controlled him on the ground, and eventually submitted him in the 4th round. It was a statement win that cemented Khabib's legacy as one of the greatest to ever do it. So there you have it, folks, our top 10 MMA fights of all time. We're talking knockouts, submissions, and all-out wars that left their mark on the sport. These were the fights that had us on the edge of our seats, questioning if these warriors were even human. Thanks for watching. Do you agree with our list? Let us know your favorite MMA fights in the comments below. What fights do you think we missed? What moments had you jumping out of your chair? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting content. And remember, keep it real and keep it savage.